Mr. Rob McDonald on the bass. Give us some, Joe. Joe Pusateri on the drums. Bring it down, 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 down. I'm so grateful that you are here today. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Mother, Father, God, infinite spirit of life, I am so grateful, yeah, 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 for the way that you reveal your life as the song that moves through me, for the way that you sing your song as the way you sing my life, for the way that you sing your song as each individual here. Oh Lord, I'm so grateful. I'm not living off my fear. I'm in my passion and my heart, here to express all of your endless infinity. Oh Lord, we are here today to uplift and heal and open hearts and inspire, Lord. And I'm so grateful for this prayer that is my life. I'm so grateful for the prayers each individual up on this stage and in this audience and this Costa Mesa, Southern California, United States of awareness. Oh Lord, I'm grateful, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Amen. Amen. I always start out in prayer. I've done my time, I'm so tired, I give up on my simple mind. It's not working, I'm no good, I'm in need. If I only could find the Spirit in the house.
Have you ever felt like there's a unique spark within you just waiting to shine? You're not alone. At the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe that everyone has the potential to transform their lives with practical spirituality. Picture this: a supportive community where everyone is striving for a deeper spiritual connection. Imagine workshops that inspire, classes that enlighten, and a welcoming community that affirms who you truly are. We like to think of ourselves as your spiritual gym. Just like physical wellness requires practice and dedication, so does spiritual wellness. Our empowering principles are designed for daily use, helping you make meaningful changes in your life. It's all about changing your mind to change your life. Sounds simple, right? Whether you're looking to unlock your potential, find clarity, or simply connect with like-minded individuals, the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont is the place to be. We're open and affirming to all because we believe that everyone deserves a chance to shine. So, are you ready to step into a more empowered version of yourself? Join us at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Love on the fly, and that's kind of what's going on. We're kind of on the fly today, and we're shifting things up and changing things up. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, and we want to welcome our online spiritual community. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're watching. If you want to chat, type into chat where you're watching from, we can give you a shout out. So we'd like to know where you're watching from. If you're a first-time guest, I know we have some here today, you should have received a welcome packet, a blue welcome packet, give you an idea of what our center is about. And after service, If you haven't been here before, we do a fellowship meal in Carter Hall. Carter Hall is right through that door, and I know we have pork medallion today. I know I have scalloped potatoes today. We saw some casseroles coming in, some salads coming in, so we have a full lunch for you today. So stay for our fellowship meal in Carter Hall. And right now, we'd like to remind you to take a moment to silence your cell phone. You know, and one of our practitioners, Tommy, always says, even if Spirit's calling you, put it on hold. Spirit will leave a message. You can get back to Spirit later. So if you put your cell phone on silent, that would be great. And then our tech team, Adrian and Chuck, have our vision statement up. And that's our vision statement. And I invite us to read this together. CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. And now we're going into our opening song.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's the love that heals, the love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only.
As we select livelier music for the opening, but today I was in, when I was selecting the music last night, I was in kind of a quiet mood and kind of a meditative mood. And I thought, let's open the service with that quiet meditation and that quiet contemplation and that softness of love. So a little shift. We'd like to shake things up and do things a little differently here. And we have Good Grief Group going on Thursday afternoons, 1 to 2:30, every Thursday. It's been going for a while now. And one of our members the other day said, you need to let the community know that we find the good in grief. We come, and we cry, and we share, and we feel those things that are coming up in the moment. But he said, you need to let people know there's good in grief. And we find our way to the good in grief. And often at the end of grief group, and it's a little confounding to me, we end up laughing or with a joke or laughter or smiling. So yes, we experience the grief and we're present with the grief. And that's our teaching. Science of Mind doesn't cover over the grief. It's not about the frosting on the cake. It's about that emotional experience of sadness and loss and sorrow. But we also find our way to this goodness and this gladness that's ever present into the brighter tomorrow. And one of the members said he's found his way. He's finding his way into this brighter tomorrow. And what he's experiencing now is, how do I navigate this new space? Grief has changed into a new space of energy. And how would I navigate that? And so that's part of our grief group. The Joel Goldsmith book discussion is on hiatus until further notice. Every first and third Sunday, we have our How to Speak Science of Mind in Carter Hall, half an hour, 9 to 9:30. A little book on how to speak science of mind. It's going quite well. However, next week is the Pride Parade. I will be at the Pride Parade. So, Evonne, you won't be here next week. So we will put that on hiatus until the third Sunday. Our beautiful flower is created by Rev Bev, finding her creative expression. I was talking to her yesterday, and she said, oh, I just love creating these flowers for this service and the center. It's part of her sacred service and her contribution to this community. And she said, I'm finding so much joy. So thank you, Rev Bev. And we'll be auctioning these off at lunch at Carter Hall. So you buy a raffle ticket, and you might have a chance at winning those flowers. So we invite you to sign up for the Flower Ministry, sign up chart in the hall if you have an anniversary or birthday coming up. Now, Rainbow Alliance is putting on a pre-Pride Parade spaghetti dinner this Saturday, this Saturday. And the dinner will be from 4:30 to 5:30. And then from 5:30 to 7, we have Reverend Victoria Bomberry doing a talk on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is a big part of the heart of CSL, all CSLs. And it will be a very informative, educative talk on what diversity, equity, and inclusion looks like in this time of so much going on in our country. So much going on. How do we make every aspect of life welcome? How do we make everyone welcome? And so Victoria will be doing that wonderful talk. So spaghetti dinner, 4:30 to 5:30 here in Carter Hall, and then the talk, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Reverend Victoria Bomberry, and she is the head of all of CSL, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So she's the head honcho, and we got her to come here and speak. So she'll also be joining us in the Pride Parade. We have a sign-up list if you want to walk or ride in the Pride Parade with us next Sunday. We would love to have you. If you haven't experienced the Pride Parade, don't miss this one. We have Metaphysical Movie Night is back, and this month, second Wednesday of the month, we do a spaghetti dinner. I know we're doing a lot of spaghetti dinners here. We had the grandkids in last night. We did spaghetti. I said, Ross, too much spaghetti. But we're doing a spaghetti dinner for Metaphysical Movie Night. The dinner is 5 to 6 in Carter Hall. The movie is 6 to 8 in here. It's Hidden Figures. It's all about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and finding your way to Spirit's creative expression. So today I invite you, that's the end of our announcements, I invite you to join us for lunch, fellowship meal in Carter Hall after service. And right now, Evonne Fowler has something to share with you. So let's make her welcome.
And I'm one of the practitioners here. And I wanted to do two things, okay? Reverend Michael has started a topic. What do you call it? The moment?
Practitioner moment.
Yeah, well, and so I wanted to talk about abundance because this is the moment that we are going to start our pledge campaign. So I wrote a couple of things that were important to me about abundance. Do you know that it's a universal principle? That abundance is a universal principle, and it's everywhere present. It is energy, right? It's energy. A consciousness mindset is the cause, where prosperity is the effect. Does that make sense? The way you think about things and how it happens, and then the result is prosperity. So they do exist together, they always have, but there is a key difference, and that's the difference in purpose. Abundance is a belief in more than enough. and the principle, prosperity is the effect. Okay. So the universal principle of abundance also doesn't play any favorites. Everybody has it available to them. And again, it's a mindset. It's a conscious abundance mindset. And the more we work on that, the more we'll be able to have some of the things that we're asking for, the manifestation of that. There's no bias, and it's equally available to every person on the planet. I had to put that in my mind a couple of times because it doesn't seem like that somehow because of the circumstances we're in. But it's absolutely true. It has abundance. It has no bias, and is equally available to every person, every human being on the planet. So one of the things that we really should do and could do is abundance consciousness on a regular basis must precede the manifestation of prosperity of any kind before you see results, okay? Regardless of appearances. So the thought becomes the thing. We might as well think abundant because we are abundant. We live in an abundant world, and God is abundant, the universe. I am open to receive a spiritual abundance regularly. I am open to receive financial prosperity. And that is an affirmation that we can use. Now, the reason I want to start with that is because I am also the chair for the Pledge Campaign, and that's happening today. We're opening the Pledge Campaign, and when you think about that, it's about what do we have to give to help our community. So we have a senior minister now for 10 months and increased in number of people attending in-house and online. And we have had Wednesday midweek services and activities and many events and workshops. We are definitely expanding. The title of our theme is We Are Abundant. We are Thrive. Together we thrive. Our membership is the backbone of our community. And our pledges that we give, or our committed giving, go to keep our spiritual home here, the facility in good shape, our staff, Sunday music and speakers, administrative expenses, the community outreach, and other things. So that's where our money goes when you give during the service or during the week, okay, the pledges. We base our budget on the number and amount of pledges and committed giving that our members and friends give. Our goal for 2025 is to achieve 45 or more pledging people, okay? And our amount is $110,000. Now, your past support has definitely made a difference in our center. And we contemplate that your commitment to CSLB, we'd like you to consider the importance of having a spiritual home and all the benefits, okay? We need your support and the commitment to achieve this goal. It's absolutely important because members and friends, donations is the backbone of what we can do here. In the past, this is just some statistics, 68% of CSLB budget has come from 10% of the membership. Okay, please think about committing or increasing your giving by even 1 or 2%, because that'll make a difference. You know, every year expenses go up, and they go up here for our spiritual home too. So if you'll just consider as you think of your committed giving to up it maybe 1 to 2%, that will truly make a difference for us. You'll receive a pledge letter and a form in the mail. It should be tomorrow or the next day. And if you'll fill out that form and bring it to the office or mail it to the center by November 30th, the finance team begins their budget process based on the amount of monies that we receive. So this is what that form looks like. You had it last year. It's been updated, but it's also going to be in that letter that you received. If you didn't get a letter, please let us know. Marcia will be putting some of the letters and the form on the back table out here too, so that you can have that if for some reason you don't get it in the mail. But that should go out, that's already gone out. You should get it by Monday or Tuesday this week. And above all, wherever and whatever you give joyously. You know, that's that abundance consciousness that we pursue here at the center. It is not an obligation. It is your gift to return to the universe. A portion of what to do has, a portion of what to have, I didn't finish that sentence, is what has been given to you. A portion of what has been given to you is what you give to the service. Throughout November, we'll be sharing testimonies from our congregation on what Science of Mind and tithing has enhanced our life. And Lois Ingram is going to be our first person to share. Lois?
Good morning, everybody. Isn't it a great day to be alive? Yes. Did anybody see that buttermilk sky this morning? It was absolutely gorgeous. The first thing I want to talk about this morning is gratitude. And I would have to say that I am so grateful for this teaching. I am so grateful for this center. And I know that our finance team and our Board of Trustees do a fantastic job of handling our money, keeping track and paying the utilities and doing the maintenance and whatever it takes to run this church. We have the same thing at home, almost the same thing, other than salaries, but they do a really wonderful job. And so I'm very grateful for the people that step forward and volunteer their time and talents. So I just want to let everybody know that I come from a place of gratitude. This year, I plan to put my pledge in writing the same as I do every year. It is a privilege to me to be able to share what I have with this center because I want to see it prosperous, continued prosperity. You know, this past year we had the sanctuary painted, we had new flooring, and it's all because of our membership and friends who support this center and want to see it grow. So anyway, I plan to fill out my pledge form this year, the same as other years. Another way of giving, although it's not in writing ahead of time, but if you receive anything during the year, in my own experience, my sister passed away and left me her home. I sold that home and I tithed 10% of the sales price to the church. It made a big impact on the running of this church. And so that's another way that people can support our teaching, is to give extra in other ways. Another way is if anybody has taken the prosperity courses, there's such a thing as unexpected income. That means that during the month, if you have, say you are taken out to lunch, and it's a $20 lunch, you can tithe $2 of that $20 here, say the first Sunday of every month. I accumulate whatever I have gained during the month, and I put it in a little envelope, and I write on there, unexpected income. You know, it really adds up over the year. So some months I may put in $2, some months I may not put anything. Other months I might put 20 or 30. It doesn't make any difference what it is. It's the consciousness of sharing your abundance with your spiritual home. And that's what I do, and I hope all of you will do the same. Thank you.
You'll all just come together and close your eyes and know that in this sacred place, this sanctuary, this sacred home, that God is present in and each one of us. God is always here. The universe is always with us. It's an abundant universe, and there's all possibilities open for us. And today, as we begin our service with Dr. Michael, we know that the joy of meeting and greeting is so important to all. I know that this is where God is, and God is our source, and so it is.
When my mind is like a battlefield and my heart is overcome by fear, and hope seems like a ship that's lost at sea, my enemies on every side, and I'm tempted to run and hide. Your gentle whisper reaches out to me. I remember who you are. You're the God who's never far. So I will not be afraid. God, you always keep me safe. I remember who you are. You're the God who's never far. So I will not be afraid.
In the lyrics in that music video, there were the words, "I remember who I am." And when those words kind of wafted their way, that gentle fabric drifting in the breeze, our meditation this morning was about the breeze and the melody of spirit, and where does our breeze of life show up on this planet, finding its way through wind chimes, finding its way through mountain trees, finding its way through the drift of a snowflake, and that's how Spirit's presence and Spirit's breath makes its knowingness and its goodness present on earth. I remember I was forced by my parents to attend Bible school, right? From first grade to seventh grade. In seventh grade, I think I had very liberal parents. And they said, you don't have to go if you don't want to go. We made you go from first to seventh grade every Sunday, and our decision, I think I decided with my brother actually to go to church with my parents rather than to school. But it was called the Northfield Church in Weston, Connecticut. And it was all congregational, all congregations coming together. And in the front, I remember there was a table with candles on it and stoles on it. And written on that table were the words, "Remember me." Now, in traditional teaching, that was remember Christ, remember the traditional teaching, the fundamental teachings. And when those words came to me in that meditative song right now, what came to me was remember me. That's our Science of Mind teaching. Remember me. Remember Michael. Remember Evonne. Remember Durwood. Remember Debbie. Remember yourself as that oneness of spirit. That's our teaching. We're one with that spirit. We're one with that spirit breath. We're one with that spirit presence. And so it's quite a shift from the fundamental teaching to remember me, remember Christ, to remember myself as one with that Christ consciousness. That's our teaching. And so I know we have some new people visiting today. We're so glad you spending your time with us this morning. A lot of places you can be on a Sunday morning, a beautiful Sunday morning. We're really glad you chose to be here. And so wherever you are on your spiritual journey, I want to say to you, welcome home, and that you're welcome here. And we like to say welcome home, welcome home, welcome all. And so I'm going to invite us to chant that together today, because we move from the ranting and raging of the worries of the world into the chanting and the saging as the wonders of the one where we find peace. And it's been a little more peaceful this morning, the music and energy I'm trying to invite into my own life. And so I invite us to chant what's on the screen, and I invite us to chant it 3 times. And I'll lead it this way, that we're all coming together in that one breath of spirit, that one harmony where we blend together, and we don't hear the individual voices, but we hear that unified voice of spirit with all of our energy behind it. So we're chanting it rather than reading it. Will sound something like this. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome all. So I invite us to do that 3 times together in your voice, in your chanting voice, all voices coming together as one. So let's do this 3 times. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome all. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome all. Welcome home. Welcome welcome all. Thank you for joining me on that. We chant together 3 times. I like to think. Not because 3 times is the charm, but because 3 times for me is the churn. It's the churn of transformation. It's the churn of the old into the new, into the now of this present moment. It's the churn of I can't into I can. Yes, I can. Yes, yes, yes. Into I am. Into I am. It's the churn of the impossible of this world into all things possible through wonder. Through wonder. It's the possibility. It's the possibility. It's the possibility that I am the possibility of my life that I've been waiting for. Yes? Yes. Yes. And so, as we come to recognize teachings about recognition, yeah. Whoa, those are last week's slides. Can we check this week's slides? Yeah, those are last week's. If we can pull up, I sent slides this morning. If we can pull those up, that would be great. And so it should be love on the fly. I sent them this morning, so if we can get those switched out, I'll go ahead. I am the possibility. And our first slide, so here this is imagine this in your imagination. It's our title, and it's love on the fly. It's love on the fly. So picture that slide. And I am the possibility of love on the fly. And that's our talk title. And that talk title, and I was sharing with Marcia, I sent in the information late today because it just wasn't coming. And the talk title was Love is All There Is. And I said, Ross, what do you think? He said, well, that's a good title. But it just didn't resonate with the message that I wanted to flow through me today. And not until yesterday, about 2 o'clock, the title Love on the Fly came through for me. And the reason it came through for me, here's how we live in the moment. Here's where Spirit's in the moment, that breath of Spirit. We went to Starbucks. I said, Ross, there's nothing. I got to get a cup of coffee. We went to Starbucks. I ordered a venti coffee. And I said, the guy's new because it didn't show up on the screen. He said, come to the window. I'll give you your order. And we got to the window, and he was clearly in training. Very nice gentleman, great energy. And he got me a grande coffee, not a venti. And there weren't a lot of people behind. I thought, well, I can take the grande, but I really want the venti. And so I said, could you change it out for the venti? And he said, absolutely, and we'll charge you for the grande. Prosperity, right? Saved $1, so I need to tie 10 cents to the center, right? Notice what you're noticing, unexpected income. I got to add 10 cents to my tithe. But here's the great thing. He was in the energy of how can I serve you? And he shouted out to the team. He said, I need a venti coffee on the fly. And I thought, so that's barista language, yeah? I didn't know that. But I said to Ross, so on the fly means put this order ahead of everything else, right? We messed up. We got 3 people in line. This order on the fly. You got to get this one so we can move this order and get everything back. So 60 seconds later, I had my venti coffee. We were on the way out. And I thought, what a great concept on the fly. Putting everything ahead. Oh, not the orders behind, nothing, not the muffins, not the sandwiches. Love on the fly. Right now, get that coffee out. And I thought, what a great concept. What if we put love on the fly? What if we put love ahead of everything else? Drop all those orders, drop all those to-do lists, drop all of those worries. Forget about the election for today. Vote your consciousness. Do vote, but forget about the worry. and enter that wonder of putting Spirit first. And when we put Spirit at the head of the line, right? Put it at the head of the line, what happens? Joel Goldsmith says this. Put Spirit first and all will fall into place. Joel Goldsmith, yes? Yes? Yes. Put Spirit first and everything will fall into line. Well, what this teaching is about evolution. We take what Joel Goldsmith said, he's a pretty good teacher, but we realize there are no teachers and there are no students, and we're just as smart as Joel Goldsmith when we come from the experience. And I thought, so how do I want to put Spirit first, everything will fall into place? And here's where it came out for me when I was writing the talk. My life experiences, and that's science of mind. What are you experiencing in life? I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what you read. I don't care what a science of mind teacher taught you or a preacher tells you. What are you experiencing in life? That's this teaching. That's how you know it's true, because you experience it and you feel it and you believe it and you live it. So here's the shift. All that buildup, it's not a very profound shift. My life experiences teach me. My experience teaches me that when I put Spirit first, all will fall into grace. Can you see the shift from Goldsmith? All will fall into place. For me, all will fall into grace. That's my shift. That speaks to me on spiritual terms. That's putting love on the fly. That's CSL, and I'm speaking all CSLs because we're better when we do it together. We do our best to fall into the grace of love on the fly. We do our best. Yay, tech team. There's our slide. Love it. Love on the fly. So what are we doing? We're working on the fly today. We didn't know who was doing meditation. We didn't know who was practitioner moment. We didn't know. And I thought, this isn't really fair to the team, and it's not fair. But, sometimes it's really exciting when you live on the fly. Sometimes when you live on the fly, that's where life is. That's where life is exciting. That's where life is welcoming. That's where we experience life at this greatest level. And so at CSL, we do our best. We really do our best to welcome you with a hello and a hug and a heartfelt smile. We put love on the fly in this teaching and this center through the presence of prayers, through the practicing of revealing principles, and through the powerful spiritual tools of, how'd we start today? Quiet meditation, a little bit of uplifting music, a metaphysical message, and a breaking of bread together. All spiritual tools that put love on the fly. So I trust, and I know we have some new people here today, and even if you're an old people, I trust that our hello to you today made your heart feel at home. I really don't care if you feel at home. I really don't care if you feel at home. What I want you to do is for your heart to feel at home. I want your heart to feel at home. Because when your heart feels at home, your soul feels at peace. And it feels a peace beyond understanding. Rumi says this about the beyond of understanding that your soul comes to feel when your heart feels at home. You are the soul of the universe, and your name is love. Wow, I found that yesterday. I'd never heard that from Rumi. And I thought, what I want right now in my life is for my soul to be the soul of the universe, and for my name to be love. Ernest Holmes speaks of making the invisible of love visible. Ernest Holmes speaks of making the invisible of love visible. Sometimes what's invisible is the I am of love that I am. We make love visible by being the vehicle, the volume, and the visibility of love. right? We become it. And the velocity of love, the volume, the vessel, and the velocity of love that allows another to see and be themselves as love. Yes? We're the presence. We're the possibility. We're the prayer that allows another to see themselves as love. Ministry at times is very difficult, but there are some very, very precious moments. My husband and I were at CSL Palm Springs Friday night for their annual mystery dinner. One of those precious moments showed up. Not only did our table guess who did the murder, and we won this wonderful centerpiece, yay, we'll take that, but a congregant that I met there 3 years ago when I was doing I got to do quarterly talks, and you can look out on a community, and you can know who you're supposed to sit next to. You can know who you're supposed to connect with. You can know who most needs a hug. And I looked out on that community that day. At the end of my talk, I went directly over to this gentleman, and he said, "It's my first time ever at a CSL." And he just broke down crying, and I held him. He just broke down sobbing. And he said, "I've been invisible all of my life." And I said, "So let's do a practitioner session together." And I prayed for him. He said he'd been invisible to others all of his life. And I said, "Let's pray for you to be visible to yourself." I don't give a hoot about who sees you. What I care from in my heart is that you see who you are. And so, ministry is really hard. And sometimes it's really precious. And that gentleman came to me Friday night and said, "I'm not invisible anymore." He's lost over 100 pounds. He's volunteering on every team there. He has a job. He's employed. He's paying his bills. He was so alive. He was so alive. What a gift. All he said to me was, "Reverend Michael, I'm not invisible anymore." Sometimes ministry is really precious. Sometimes ministry is about, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be really pissed off at the world. It's okay to be really pissed off at what's going on in our election. It's supposed to be a joyful process. I don't care if you're red or blue or purple or orange or yellow. It's supposed to be a joyful process. Life is supposed to be a joyful process. And in that joyful process that Science of Mind says we're each unfolding into and as, there are times it's okay not to be okay. And when you can accept you're not okay, you're okay. How is that possible? How is it possible that prayer works? How is it possible that love heals everything? How is it possible that we're that prayer and that love and that light? How is it possible? I don't know. I just know it is. I just know it is. And so we had an Olympic gymnast who said she started feeling twinges and the twisties in her performance a couple of years at the Olympics, and she knew she was off center, and she withdrew herself from the Olympics during the Olympics, and the Olympic Committee and the U.S. and the press said, "How dare you? We've invested in you. You're representing our nation. You must go on. You must perform." And she said, "I'm off center. I'll hurt myself. I'm stressed out. I need to walk away from all of this publicity and all of this light, and I need time for myself." And she brought to awareness the importance of self-care. in a world that says, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you take care of yourself? She took 2 years off. She came back. She's now one of the greatest Olympus winners in all of time. She's won 11 medals. She was so centered. She was so present. She was so attuned to spirit. She knew she was out of tune with spirit. She took the time to tune in, right? To tap in, to align. She found herself. She found her presence. She made a statement of who she was. And she changed the world, yeah? She changed the world. And so what I like to say about people who I like to say about people who take time to find themselves and be themselves and connect with spirit in a way very few people do. Very few people do. What I like to say about those people is that those are people who have me at hello. Those are the people that have me at hello. They have me at the hello of my soul, and I speak to the hello of their soul. And there was a movie, Jerry Maguire. It was all about love on the fly. Love on the fly is about saying hello to spirit first. Spirit now, spirit ahead of everything else. And in Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise expresses his love to Renee Zellweger in these words, "You had me at hello." Man, spirit had me at hello. Ministry didn't have me at hello, but ministry's got me now. Ministry's got me now. Boy, say hello. Say hello to the magnificent that you are. Say hello to the magnificent healing presence that you are. Say hello to the love that you are. Say hello to the power of the presence in which somebody who feels invisible can come to see themselves. It's a movie. Got to do movies, right? You know, I'm movies. Dooley Wilson plays this. If you know it, I invite you to sing it with me. We don't have accompaniment. We're working on a music program here. But if you'll sing this with me, I'll feel a whole lot more comfortable. It's from Dooley Wilson. It's from Casablanca. And it's You Must Remember This. So if you'll sing along with me, I'll feel a whole lot more comfortable. You must remember this. A kiss is just a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say, I love you. On that you can rely, no matter what the future brings as time goes by. So, the movie and the song are about the inevitability and the irreversibility and the immortality of Love on the Fly. In the early 1980s, I began watching a young TV minister on WOR-TV, Channel 9, Los Angeles. Now, her TV show hailed from San Diego. And that minister began with 27 people in a church in La Jolla. And 7 years later, she had 1 million people watching her broadcast. That minister had me at hello. That minister healed my heart. That minister helped me give myself back to me. You know, whether you like me or you don't like me, you know what? I'm not invisible anymore. I'm not invisible anymore. That minister had me at hello. That minister was Reverend Terry Cole Whitaker. Terry made her transition this past week. And when I found out, I went into the kitchen to share it very tearfully with Ross. Now, Ross did not know Terry. But he said, I know how much Terry meant to you. And I said, a great soul has made her transition. I'm talking a great soul has made her transition. Now, in truth, we're all great souls, but she called it forth. She touched hearts. She healed this world. She raised and praised up and amazed up in who she is. And so when I said to Ross, a great soul has made its transition, and he knew how much Terry meant to me, I came to realize in that moment that I'm a great soul. I'm not invisible anymore. I'm a great soul. I'm a great soul. And so are you. And so are you. Terry, you had me at hello. You made me not invisible anymore. And you made me realize that I'm enough. It's okay not to be okay. And also, it's okay to be in love of who you are. If you aren't in love with who you are, keep coming here. Do the classes. Keep going to lunch. Come Saturday to our dinner. Come hear about diversity, equity, and inclusion, because you're part of that talk. Terry taught me that science of mind isn't about some time or some day or some way. Science of mind is about the sum total of what we choose here and now up to see and are to be and to become in the here and now of this day. Terry shared her joy when I became a minister. One of my good friends spoke to her every week, 2 and 3 times a week, right up until her transition. He shared that I'd become a minister, and Terry was overjoyed. And I'm a little sorry. My ordination panel is this Wednesday morning at 9:30, so if you hold me in prayer for that. But I know Terry will be with me. I know the panel is already perfect, whole, and complete. I know I'm an ordained minister, and it's not about the title or the license. It's about the shift into presence. It's about a shift into that presence of being. It's about shift into being love on the fly. It's about the shift of the courage to be who you are. So on my ordination panel this week, Terry, I will be visible. Terry, I will be who I am. Terry, I will be love on the fly. Reverend Terry was love on the fly. And so Reverend Terry raised and praised and amazed me up in the awareness that it all begins with and it all ends with love. Love on the fly is about knowing that you are the expression of love. You are worthy of being visible. You are worthy of moving from doing into being, into thy am state of consciousness and presence of love on the fly, in which everything is put aside and spirit is put first. You know, love on the fly is not about what's written on the page, it's about what's written in your heart. One of my mentors, Robert Wilson, from Palm Springs, we were talking the other day, and he said, they're going to ask you questions that will help them understand if you made the shift into that ever-presence of love on the fly. And he said, give me an example. And I said, I got a great example. And I said a few years ago, giving a guest talk, I was a talk that wasn't breathing, like this talk on Thursday and Friday, and it wasn't breathing. And you can feel when it breathes and what comes to life. And you can feel when you're breathing life too, because it's a whole different feeling when you're not deep breathing. When you're breathing life in, man, it is an expression of oneness and wholeness and goodness and vibration and color and light and truth. Life is so thrilling. And I said, I got a good example for you. Talk hadn't come to life. Getting up, I was like 3 steps away from the podium and going, great. I don't like the talk, so nobody else is going to like the talk. And Ernest Holmes says the powerful space is between the pews and the pulpit. He said, this is the space of power. Not where you are, it's not where I am, it's where we are here in this space. That's Ernest Holmes. Pretty sure Ernest Holmes knew about love on the fly. And in that space between the pews and the pulpit, I walked up and I got, oh my God, it's not about written on the page, it's what's written in your heart. Talk came alive, I came alive. So I'm going to talk about what's written in my heart in my ordination panel. I know that panel's going to come alive in a way it's never come alive. Ross heard me on my pre-interview on the cruise. Took the call on the cruise. I thought, I'm not taking the call on the cruise. I'm going to put him off. And he said, you better take the call for your ordination panel on the cruise. You know, put the cruise first. No, put spirit first. Answer the call. And I got off the call, and Ross said, you raised them so much in consciousness. You blew them away. The ministers I were talking to said, God, we hope we get to where you are someday. And I said, you already are. I'm not really anywhere. I'm just learning to be me. And so it all begins and ends with love. It all begins with love on the fly. And today's affirmation, and we'll honor Terry with this, a great, great soul. And we honor the greatness of her soul with this affirmation. I invite us to honor the greatness of our souls. And Terry always said, what you think of me is none of my business. Well, that's good. Thank you, Terry. And I hear Terry going, go further, Michael, go further, evolve it, take it, make it your own, take love on the fly and make it your own. And I thought, so what I think of myself is the business of my life. What you think of me is none of my business, but what I think of me is the business of my life. That's the business of our life. That's the business of science of mind. That's the business of love in our fly. So I invite us to say together, and those of you who knew Terry, I know she's holding us in her heart. And so I invite us to feel safe in our heart so that our soul feels safe right here and right now. And the safeness of our heart and the sanctity of our soul is one with Terry's heart and Terry's soul. I invite us to say this affirmation together. What you think of me is none of my business. What I think of myself is the business of my life. You know, I often say, if no one today has told you that they love you, we at CSLB love you. If you haven't told yourself today that you love you, why the heck haven't you? Why the heck haven't you? And I don't, Durwood's looking at me, and I know he's told himself that he loves him because that's one thing he learned in grief group. And he says, I look in the mirror every morning now, Reverend Michael, and I say, I love you. So if we had a mirror, look into the next mirror you find and tell yourself you love you. You know, wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. May you have a Starbucks barista who messes up your order, because in the mess is the message. Who knew a Starbucks barista messing up the order was my next spiritual guru? My next spiritual guru that reminded me, guru is spelled G-U-R-U. That guru, Terry is my guru, Spirit is my guru, Science of Mind is my guru, Michael is my guru. G-U-R-U. You always have been. You always will be. Be love on the fly. And when somebody messes up your order, find the message. Find the message. Thank you, Starbucks. And so it is. And so Terry always said, never repeat a prayer. Because if you're repeating it, that's your mind, and that's not spirit. And so Terry, wherever you are, wherever we are together, and I know we're together as one right now, I miss you. I love you. I feel you. I am you. I am a great soul.
Ernest Holmes was a great soul. Science Mind Teaching has a great soul. Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont has a great heart. Great heart. Terry, thank you for making me visible to myself. Thank you for making yourself visible to this world. And I know that in the here and now, your presence is always felt. And now in the here and after, and I know this beyond knowing, in the here and after, we don't go anywhere. We go everywhere. Thank you, Terry, for the greatness and the presence and the forever of your soul. Thank you for the greatness and the forever of making my heart welcome within myself. Thank you for making me aware that where my heart is at home, my soul is at peace. I know you are at peace. No, I am making my way to peace. And know your message of peace on earth and a world that works for everyone. We will continue your work. We'll continue your love. We'll continue to be, as you always were, a bright and shining star, an example of love on the fly. And so it is.
You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free. The finest years I ever knew, I had with you, and I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. You taught me how to love, what it's all. You never said too much, but still you showed the way, and I knew from watching you. Nobody else could ever know the part of me that can't let go. And I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. Is there someone you know, you're loving them so, but taking them all for granted? You may lose them one day, someone takes them away, and they don't hear the words you long to say. I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again, just to touch you once once again.
So it's our time of conscious giving. And as Evonne said, it's not just what we give of our time and our tithe and our talent, but it's the energy we give forth our finance from. And there's a story, and I'm borrowing this from Edward Evonne, who was the head of CSL and his churches in Santa Rosa, and their campaign is kicking off also. And he shared that he had a congregant who refused to tithe. And so he made a deal with the congregant. He said, I'll tell you what, you've been here 5 years, you refuse to tithe. I want you to put a jar on your kitchen table, and every Sunday you put money into that jar. I don't care if it's $1 or $10 or a dime. Every Sunday you practice tithing and you put money in that jar. At the end of the year, you come back and tell me if you haven't noticed your abundance expand in your life. Every Sunday you tithe. And the person came back and I said, well, I saved about $500 in the jar, but I've gotten more than 10 times that back in my life, unexpected income, right? I got 10 cents at Starbucks at church. So notice what you're noticing. But give from a place in the heart. Give generously and give freely with your love. And Mary Morrissey always says, give more than a gesture, but less than a sacrifice. More than a gesture and less than a sacrifice, but always give from the feelings in your heart. And if our ushers will come forth, we'll read this as they come forth. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. If you're our online community, you can text to give 951-420-6909. You can go to our website, cslbeaumont.org, and you can give your gift there. Mostly we appreciate your presence, and we also appreciate your financial gift.
Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for
I'm good.
Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thank you. Hey.
Bill's birthday is tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Much better. Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you. And so now we close our service by circling up. You can remain seated if you choose and just join us in consciousness, but we circle up, we hold hands, and we pray our way out. And I see we have some lyrics on the screen, and that will be our song today, I Love Myself So Much. So let's form a circle or close that circle. If you want to remain seated, just join us in consciousness. And we know that consciousness connects us all the time and everywhere. you can start loving me. And so I know something wonderful happened at CSL Beaumont today. And that something wonderful is love on the fly. It's love on the fly that makes you come to be no longer invisible, but to be the visible presence, the visible volume, the visible essence of a love that doesn't go anywhere, of a love that goes everywhere. And together we say, and so it is. Lunch in Carter Hall. Prayer practitioners over here on the right side of the sanctuary if you need a pray up and a heal up. And again, join us for spaghetti dinner Saturday night, 4:30 to 5:30, and our DEI Equity Inclusion Seminar.
Power of